Ahoy! Welcome to another episode of CEO Reviews, Awful Workplaces. And look, they're not all awful workplaces, but today what we're going to dive into is what some of the challenges are in there. And of course, I'll go the employee angle to answer their question if it's an employee or leader employee. And then if need be, we'll dive into the leader's side. Now, if you haven't done so already, I'd encourage you to subscribe. So that way you can stay notified for each of the bits of content because we upload every week. So don't miss some humor if you can. All right, this first one is from NoSurf 2022. Hopefully they get some surfing in, bad joke. But emotionally draining supervisors, the post.
This is the worst.
If it isn't my fault, it's my fault. If I put my own spin on things, she asks to make things more efficient. I'm doing it wrong even when I'm right. That's a bit disheartening. Okay, I don't let it bother me in the slightest. I soak in all her negativity like a sponge, but I've never seen someone with such a hot and cold temperament. It is kind of wearing me down.
What? That is totally crazy. I am super chill all the time.
Hope to get an interview for elsewhere soon. Oof. Okay, so there's a few things we want to do in here and talk about and pull apart. So the first is hope to get an interview somewhere else soon. That tells us where you are. When people want to head for the escape and the exit, we know that you're no longer keen to be here. As an employee, I get it. You've had enough. You feel like you can't take charge of it. What's the point of sticking through all this crap anyways? What I think we can do is at least look at what are some of the options to try and wrangle this back under control if you choose to stay.
I am 100% certain that I am 0% sure of what I'm going to do.
Hey, maybe you want to go, but you haven't found the right opportunity. So why not try to make it tenable or at least better for the last couple of weeks or months or however long you're there. It's my fault, it's not my fault. You know, no matter what I do, basically the first thing is I'm feeling disheartened. No matter what I do, I lose. Yeah, that sucks, right? Like, what's the deal with the boss? Why is that happening? I don't let it bother me in the slightest, but I soak it all in like a sponge.
If I keep my body moving and my mind occupied at all times, I will avoid falling into a bottomless pit of despair.
Don't do that. Don't wear other people's negativity. You have to find ways to buffer against that negativity. So if someone's being super negative, you need to find ways to go, cool, this isn't me, this is that person. This is the way they are. This is what brings them joy or anti-joy. And this is how they keep themselves going to deal with whatever chaos. They say, I don't let it bother me in the slightest. It sounds like it does, right? Like if I'm willing to leave my job over it, that's a clear indication. What I want to focus on though is what can they do if they want to stay? How are they going to make that change? First thing, chat with the leader. I'd say, hey, you know, I want to have a quick conversation with you. And correct me if it's just me, but I noticed that some days it feels like I'm doing a good job and you tell me I'm doing a good job, but other days it doesn't seem like it. And I'm trying to figure out, because I've looked at everything and maybe I'm missing something. What am I doing wrong? Am I missing something? Can you give me specific examples of how I could be doing better? And here's an example of where I felt like that happened. On this day, I did this particular thing. You seemed kind of happy, but then on this day, I did the same thing and you told me I didn't do a good job, or you seemed really cold towards me. I just want to understand. And then if they say, I don't think so, I've never done that, then cool, all right. Would you mind if the next time that happens, I just say something then and there and we try and figure out what's going on? Yes or no? And the boss might say, no, I don't want that.
I like saying no. It lowers their enthusiasm.
Great, get the hell out of there, NoSurf. Because you've now tried, you've now asked if you have permission to give feedback, and they've said, no, 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 nothing's happening, and I don't want your feedback, goodbye.
What are your weaknesses?
I don't have any ass.
Now, if we wind all the way back and they say, oh, I'm sorry that's happened to you. I didn't realize that. Or they said, yes, I want feedback. They both result in the same thing. The next time it happens, you can go, hey, remember we had that conversation? We agreed either you were gonna try to stop doing it or you wanted feedback. It's happening. Can we have a conversation? And then we start to fix that. Step back, that's the advice for NoSurf. That's the way you can take control if you want to and see if they're really keen to improve. Park that. Now let's go to the leadership side, which is you're the leader, let's say Sally in this instance, you're being super hot and cold. Now, if you're aware of it, cut the shit out.
Here's the deal, okay? It stops now.
It's not your employee's job to wear your emotional baggage that day. Do not come in pissy and go, you know what? I'm the boss. If I want to be f***ing pissed off, I'm going to walk around this place pissed off. No, it doesn't work that way. You cannot bring your emotions and thrust it upon your employees. That. You don't get to do that. And I'm sorry, if that's the kind of leader you are, we have beef. Stop it.
Don't you dare.
If you're the type of leader that's being triggered by certain people, What you can do is start to understand what are my triggers and what can I do to stop or block those triggers. If I'm triggered by, let's say, someone who talks too much at work, I need to understand, hey, I'm getting triggered. Ooh, they won't shut up. I'm getting really grumpy. Why won't they shut up? What's going on? Why are they behaving that way?
Why are you the way that you are? Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way.
Stop yourself. All right, cool, I know I'm getting grumpy. Calm down. Okay, why am I getting grumpy? Actually, they're not doing anything to me. I'm just getting grumpy because I don't like when people do that. I have to stop, let them finish what they're saying. If they're doing too much of it, I wrap them up and give them some tools to be more concise, but I'm gonna park that grumpiness because guess what? I'm the leader and I get paid to be the leader and I don't get to behave that way. Great, so that's how I would solve it if I was NoSurf and also if I was coaching the leader on dealing with some of the emotional volatility. Those are just some quick tips. Obviously it could be a bit of a lengthier conversation and we would even potentially mediate between them informally to try and solve, well, how can these two work more effectively together? And they might consider that as an option to get some third person to come in and help them figure out how do we work better together if that's something they wanted to do. Let's go on to the second one. Ooh, this is an interesting one. Work stress, constantly missing deadlines and disappointing clients. Where to go from here? Oh, that's a bit sad. The person's name is a bunch of numbers, so we'll just say, hey, Joe. I work for a SaaS company, which is software as a service, as an onboarding project manager. A lot of clients I onboard need bespoke custom development, which adds to the project timeline in getting them fully set up in the system. There's a huge backlog of things that need fixing and things that need custom work carried out in the system, and the development team give them their ETAs for completion to which we never meet for the client. Okay, so to sum all that up, we promise client stuff, we never meet it, and it's not good, okay? I'm the one who deals with them and manages expectations, and I'm finding it so hard week on week breaking the news that their updates haven't been made and their deadlines have been missed. Even when I add a week or two into the ETA our dev team provide, we still miss these deadlines.
Basically, everything is falling apart here.
How is this on me?
Okay, so this person's tried to add a buffer and it's still not making any difference, still being missed. I've had some clients express their concern, and rightly so, to my boss, and no, it's reflecting poorly on my performance right now. We'll come back to that. Have any of you faced a similar issue? How have you overcome this? I really don't know where to go from here. It's so disheartening. But first, I really feel for this person. Let's look at what's actually going on. So there's a bit of compression happening here, right? There's the sales team promising some stuff. And the client then has this expectation when they sign on that that's going to happen. Then you've got the development team who is meant to build the thing that sales has promised. And then you're sat in the middle as a project manager as what I'd call the spring in this whole process. Like you compress based on what's happening, you have to adjust based on what's happening, and you have to provide a cushion between those so that the customer doesn't get crushed and disheartened by what's happening to them. So that's a really difficult job. Project management is really unforgiving and not for the faint of heart. And I would say it's good that you're so concerned about customers. I think that's really important. But the second is to start to be able to separate yourself from the performance of those around you. So you want to understand, why is sales promising this and how do I deal with that and how do I factor that in and make sure that's in the project plan? Second is, okay, what's going on over here with development? And I know they're not going to meet it, so I want to be really clear on what are they promising me and tell them you have to meet this. Like, I'm promising customers this, you have to meet this. And then what I would do is, once I've understood both of those, I would go to the manager, my boss, and go, all right, I need a few things from you. If a customer contacts you, I need to have your support. I need to know that if they complain about what's going on, that you'll come talk to me and we can look at what's actually happened and what are we going to do to fix it. The second way I need your support is that I need you to help me manage this around me. I'm doing everything I can as the project manager, but I cannot control the development team and I can't control what sales is doing over here. I need you to go to bat for this and go, hey, we got to take back some level of control, or at least be able to put that in our messaging and project plans to the customer.
Do you see the problem here?
Yes, but I don't want to.
This is where you're calling on your leader, even though you're the manager. Sometimes you have to call on that next level leader, go, there's chaos going on here, man. Like, I'm doing everything I can, but you gotta get this under control. Help me go fight these big battles. The number of coaching sessions I've had where I've been like, actually, you need to go to your boss, or you need to go to the general manager, or you need to go to the CEO and they need to step into the fray and sort this out. There's a reason that those next levels exist. Now, if you're the CEO, I'd be going, oof, like a SaaS company will have some of this environment going on, but if it's starting to affect employee morale and it's starting to affect customer retention, I'd be going, all right, we need to get this shit under control and figure out what's going on here. Third thing I'd be looking at for the leader, what can we put in place to create some level of rhythm to this and some level of transparency? So can we set, whether it's agile and you do sprints or a daily huddle or whatever it might be, where you go, today we're gonna go, what's happened? What are we meant to deliver? What's in the way? What are we gonna do about it? Like if you just started with that and you got one person from each area to dial into that huddle and go, yeah, cool, dev team's doing this, we're backlogged in this, we're thinking about this, then you can make more informed decisions, you can adjust your project plan, and you can talk to customers before the deadline gets missed.
Never half-ass two things. Whole-ass one thing.
The problem now is we leave this shit to last minute, not because of you, but because the departments are worried about the customer, they're worried about their product, and they're worried about selling the product. And that's problematic. Those would be the bits of advice I would give first and foremost. And then the last thing is to start to detach yourself from feeling disheartened about this.
Oh, I have a medical condition, all right. It's called caring too much, and it's incurable.
I'm not saying don't care. You should care. You put a lot of time and effort into your work. You have to care. But what I'm saying is to understand that this is normal in a high growth, uncertain, rapid change organization like a SaaS organization, where there's so much volatility and change and lack of control and momentum in certain areas, that you have to understand that this is not always a reflection of you. Sometimes it's the summation of everything happening around you. And it's important to understand that. Really go away and reflect on, am I doing everything I should do as a project manager? Am I doing everything I can do to keep stakeholders aware? Do I have my best interests at heart for customers? If I can tick all those boxes, then you have to really go, you know what? I think I am actually doing a really good job. It's not easy, it's not perfect, but I know I'm doing the best I can do. So those are our 2 for today. I'd encourage you to go away and kick ass, because that's what I always say, and that's what leaders need to be doing. Those should have given you some practical tips that you can use as the leader and as the employee, depending on the situation. Now, if you haven't done so already, subscribe, hit the like button so we can continue to see people's engagement and continue to produce content for you every week. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode of CEO Reviews Reddit Questions. Chat soon and keep being awesome.